This is Mosaic, live from the Freak Sanctum, and I am back, my fellow freaks. 2019 has come to a close, everybody, and because of that, it's finally time to talk about the top 10 worst movies of 2019. Now, I know it has been a while since we actually had like one of these videos on channel. Seems like I post them every 2 years or something. Now, there have certainly been some real crap fests in 2019. I mean it, just some real stinkers. But somehow I seem to avoid watching most of them. I always have trouble making this list because I never see enough truly bad movies in order for me to make this list up. I always end up putting some movies on here that I thought were at least okay. But that's good, that's fine, I've made my peace. Now keep in mind, the ones on my top 10 worst are not necessarily going to be the ones on your top 10 worst. So you guys, leave it down in the comment section below. What were some of the worst movies you saw in 2019? Are they some of the ones on my list? Do you have your own list? Please, go ahead. Leave it down in the comment section below. I would love to hear about it. But with that said, it is time to count this down.
You suck!
Now, I literally could not put this any lower because honestly, I had an amazing time with this movie. Oh my God, it was so much fun. This movie is insane. Now, I will say this. I don't think the visuals look that bad. I don't. I really don't. I think that on the people who are on the screen the most, it looks fine. And then there are other people in there who just, oh, that could have used some touching up. But at the end of the day, I cannot find myself hating this movie. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the dancing. The story was so ridiculous that I couldn't help but laugh at it. And the final minutes of this movie has no plot whatsoever. But you know what? If you saw the stage musical, you would have known that anyway. I don't think this is nearly the worst movie of the year. I don't think it's nearly as horrifying as everybody says. But is it a bad movie? Yes. But an enjoyably bad movie.
You suck!
At the number 9 spot, we got Shaft. I don't know, something about this didn't really grab me. You know, like I'm not sure what it was. It's a fine movie. Samuel Jackson, Jesse Usher, Richard Roundtree, they're all pretty good in it. But the villain is practically a non-character. The plot is honestly kind of boring. And like really the saving grace of this movie was Alexandra Shipp, my goddess. It's okay. It's an okay movie, but it just didn't grab me.
You suck!
At the number 8 spot, we got Men in Black International. I honestly was looking forward to this film. New Men in Black movie starring Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. How could I not be excited? And Liam Neeson's in it. It was just, I don't know, it was something about it. Something about it just didn't click. I mean, I liked Pawnee, but honestly, it's just that the movie's not funny enough. It's not nearly funny enough. Tessa Thompson, Chris Hemsworth are a great comedic pair, but you gotta give them funny things to say, and most of the things they said in this movie weren't funny. Not to mention the action is decent at best. It's just mediocre. It's just a mediocre movie. It's just mediocre all around. I can't really say anything else but that.
You suck!
Kumail Nanjiani, what? Dude, you're funny! What in the world, man? What happened? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, this is a ludicrous movie with a ludicrous premise that's honestly not ludicrous enough. I feel like they could have gone a lot sillier with this and they just didn't. Plus, Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista just aren't funny in this. I don't get it. But most of the things they said, I didn't laugh at. The action was okay at best, but again, I didn't laugh. It's like Men in Black International, but without the alien sci-fi stuff to keep me interested. I don't know. They could have done so much more with this movie, and nah. Also, the ending was kind of stupid.
You suck!
Now, maybe it's the fact that I saw Joker and Terminator 6 on the same night I saw this. I watched all three back to back. But man, this movie was boring. Like, I could not keep myself awake. Now, yeah, I was tired, but I have watched 4 movies in a single night and not gotten tired. This movie was putting me to sleep, okay? This movie was so boring. Just not that interesting. Not to mention the plot is beyond paper thin. Like, so much of this could have been like a mini series of Addams Family episodes. But no, they have to stretch it out for 90 minutes. I couldn't stay awake for 90 minutes of the Addams Family. Honestly, I'm not sure what else to say. This movie bored me, and despite the cast trying really hard, it just, I don't know. It could have been so much more interesting, and it just fell so flat.
You suck!
I went into this movie expecting just a boring neo-noir non-thriller. And I got so much more! Oh my god! This movie is so insane! I literally watched this movie with one other person in the theater. We both looked at each other after it was over and asked, what the F did we just watch? I can't put it into words. I don't even want to talk about the twist halfway through. I don't care how it might have been foreshadowed. I don't care about that. This movie just turns completely like 270 degrees. It is absolutely nuts. This was a masterful masterpiece.
You suck!
Okay, guys, look. We all know the critique of these live-action Disney remakes. What else can I say here? It's unoriginal. It really, really takes away from the great performances when the animals don't emote. It's not nearly as lively. I don't know what I can say about this that I couldn't say about Beauty and the Beast. And I could make an hour-long video on Beauty and the Beast. Watch me. What about this movie was a good idea? What about this movie was such a good idea when you don't do anything different with it other than making it photorealistic, which takes away from the charm and the gravitas that the original movie had. Not to mention, you completely butchered one of the greatest Disney villain songs ever, and I will never forgive you for that. Screw you!
You suck!
What can I say about this movie? It's just boring. It's so boring, and it's not even the Dark Phoenix story. Say what you want about X-Men The Last Stand, and I actually do have a video where I talk about why I don't think The Last Stand is that bad. Say what you want about that one. It actually was about Jean Grey going bad and needing to be stopped at all costs. It was one of many stories, but it was the story. This movie, she does not go evil. Heck, we don't even really know what she goes, honestly. It just plods along with barely a plot, and honestly, the X-Men in this movie are stupid. They are so dumb. That fight that they have in the middle of the street with no attention as to hurting bystanders, innocent people, I really wish I knew what to say to these guys. Honestly, I just want to smack them. Like, the aliens are practically non-characters. The X-Men are ridiculous, and Jean Grey does not actually become the Dark Phoenix or anything resembling it. It's just a terrible X-Men movie, and a terrible movie in general.
You suck!
How many times can you say that a movie's unfunny? I don't know. I really tested that when I saw The Hustle. Man, this movie is just... oh, I like Rebel Wilson. I like Anne Hathaway. I think they're trying in this movie. In fact, Anne Hathaway has one of the only lines that I actually laughed at. But, wow, is this movie unfunny? Wow, does it just put you to sleep? Wow, how did they make this? Again, I say, if you're going to put funny people in your movie, give them funny things to say!
You suck!
And last but not least, the coup de grace of crap. Hellboy. Oh, Jesus Lord, Hellboy. I was rooting for this movie. I went from being, oh, why are they doing this? To, okay, I'm actually kind of on board with this, to, you monsters. Not only is this movie's plot stupid, not only does this film not really give him that much funny stuff to say, but this movie is ugly. I thought from the first trailer that David Harbour in this movie didn't look that great. And he still doesn't look that great, but he looks just a little bit better. But there's just so many stuff in this movie that looks gross. It's gross. It's so unappealing to look at. Especially the way that the girl, who was one of the only things about this movie I liked, the way she communicates with the dead is so awful to look at. You couldn't have found any other way to make that look. Seriously, you're sick. Get help. On top of that, the action in this movie is not just boring, but it's poorly shot. The climax is completely anticlimactic. This movie needs an enema. This movie needs to go sit in a corner and think about what it's done. This movie is the absolute worst thing I saw, not only in 2019, but one of the worst things I've seen this decade. Wow. And that was my top 10 worst of 2019. Oh my God, I'm glad this is over. Woo! Once again, guys, tell me down in the comment section below, what do you guys think of my list? Is there anything that I missed? Anything on here that you disagree with? Whatever it is, please comment down below. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this video with all your friends. Keep the conversation going. As always, this is the Freak Sanctum, and this is Mosaic. Glad to be back.